Morning, my friend. How are you? Good, I hope. Well, we've had a nice weekend, and as you can tell, it's getting cold here. Trying to keep warm. I hope it's warm where you are, and you're enjoying your Monday morning cup of joe. This week's topic is about having difficult conversations. We polled a large population of our current and past graduates of the leadership program and asked them what are their biggest challenges. And in the top three, most consistently, the topic of having a difficult conversation came up, and rightly so. None of us enjoy having a difficult conversation, whether it's with a loved one or it's with an important colleague, team member, or even our bosses in the workplace. So why is it so difficult to have difficult conversations? Why do we find it so challenging? Well, when we further asked the individuals who were polled what it was about difficult conversations that made it so hard for them, they came up with three responses. Number one, they feared their own emotional response as well as the emotional response of the person they were having the conversation with. They feared that they would get caught up in their own emotion and lose track of the conversation. And that makes sense because you see, the emotions are coming from our limbic system, our limbic brain, which doesn't possess the ability of language. That comes from the neocortex. So we lose the words that we want to say, or we say words that are taken out of context. And that makes having a difficult conversation all the more difficult. The second one was we feel that we have failed the relationship in some way. Usually it's because we delayed having the difficult conversation for so long, and it's gotten to a point where it's reached a critical mass. And that's a problem. We have to learn how to have difficult conversations almost in real time or within close immediacy of the time that you got triggered. That's super important. But how do we do that? Well, we're going to be talking about that as the topic of After the Coffee this week. Now, number three, we fear the loss of the relationship, or we fear that we may severely damage the relationship, impacting our ability to trust each other, for that person to trust us, and for us to trust them. And that is extremely challenging, and another reason why oftentimes we avoid having these important but very difficult conversations with our colleagues, with our teammates, or with a loved one. So we're going to be talking about how to combat those top three challenges within having a difficult conversation, in addition to some great tips and insights in being able to how to have those difficult conversations in a way that instills trust, allows for compassion, and grows the relationship. So until Wednesday and after the coffee, I hope you have your warm cup of joe and that you're keeping warm in these cold mornings. And until Wednesday, my friend, lead well.